May 2005. I thought I might be pregnant. While grocery shopping, I thought for shits and giggles I would buy a pregnancy test. Came home and took it, and well, what do you know? The line on the box was faint, but there. I was so happy, as most mothers are when they find out. In August of 2005, I went in for an ultrasound to find out the sex of the baby. I remember this day very well, down to exactly what I was wearing. During the ultrasound, Barry accompanied me. First they said, well, we have a girl. I was so excited and I cried. I really wanted to have a girl. But then 2 seconds later, wait, no, well, hold on, and they brought in another tech. Your baby is moving around an awful lot, and I think we're gonna have to send you to a specialist and have a more thorough scan. I left with another appointment, but feeling confident that I had a girl. No worries. 2 weeks later, I went to said appointment alone. No need to have Barry come with me, as I was sure she was going to confirm that I had a girl and would proceed throughout my day. This was not the case. I was in a room with the ultrasound tech, and the first thing I thought was weird is that they did not have the images up on the screen where I could see. She was quiet and took a lot of images. About 30 minutes later, in comes the doctor. She looks at all my scans and turns to me, and it was at that moment I knew that something was wrong. She comes over and takes my hand. I need you to listen to me very carefully. I immediately had tears streaming down my face. I could hear them falling on the paper on the exam table. She holds my face and says, there's something going on with your baby, and it's complicated, and we need to do an amniocentesis right now. There was no time to think. I was alone and agreed to have the testing and went through the scary procedure with no one to hold my hand. And when we were done, she explained in very vague terms what she saw and implored me not to go on the internet and look up anything as we had discussed, as it would cause undue stress, and this was the best advice I ever received. It was a grueling 2 weeks waiting for test results, but when they came back, more hard news. My baby had Turner syndrome and another chromosomal abnormality that was rare. There was a 35% chance this baby would not make it through the pregnancy, and we were referred to Cincinnati Children's Maternal Fetal Medicine Clinic to have, and the lead research clinic in Turner syndrome. The first appointment was one of the longest of my life. I had a series of tests, meeting with genetic counselors, and about 100 ultrasound pictures. At the end of the day, we sat with about 15 doctors to tell us everything that was going on with my baby. It was confusing, overwhelming, and we knew that we were in for a long road ahead. Without going into very painful detail and respect for my daughter, I will not disclose the specifics. But what I need to convey is that Barry and I had to make decisions that no parent should ever have to make for their child. The next 3 months was back and forth trips to Cincinnati, confusion, sadness, loss. I was trying so hard to enjoy this pregnancy, but it was so difficult because there were so many things I had to accept about my child. I would get frustrated with the whole everything happens for a reason bullshit. Well, then why me? What the hell did I do? These were the raw emotions. It did not mean I did not love this baby inside of me. I did, but I was dealing with loss. Loss of a healthy baby that I could have here in my hometown with my family around me, my supportive friends, without NICUs and surgeries and decisions. Hell, I couldn't even plan for this baby at this point. What to expect while you were expecting was a bunch of horseshit to me at this point. Yes, I was really angry, but actually no, I was horribly, horribly sad. After 2 amniocenteses, I was ready to have my baby. Early, but she needed to come out. My blood pressure was high and things were getting very complicated. We made our way to Good Samaritan Hospital in Cincinnati with family members and my 3-year-old son, where I delivered Berkeley Lynn Parker via C-section. There was at least 13 to 14 people in the emergency room, and it was overwhelming, but she was beautiful, all 4.5 pounds of her. I was able to hold her for a while and go back into recovery, and they brought her to me. As I lay there holding my baby, falling in love with her face, the doctor comes to me and says, "We really need to get her over to the children's hospital for tests right away. There will be a transporter here within an hour." That was not in the birth plan. And like clockwork, here comes a gurney with an incubator to take my Berkeley to another hospital. "Sign here, Mom. We'll take good care of her." And with that, they took my baby out of my arms and off she went, and I would not see her for 24 hours. Recovery was long and hard, and Barry stayed with Berkeley most of the time. I have to say that Barry, my ex-husband, is an amazing father. He went back and forth from me recovering and Berkeley in the NICU, giving me updates and bringing me coffee. I knew it was overwhelming for him at times, but he kept it together for both of us, and for that, I'm truly grateful. When I did get permission to go over to the Children's Hospital to the NICU, Barry takes me back to where she was, and he says, "There she is." And as horrible as it seems, I didn't even recognize her. I even said, "Is that her?" What mother says that? What mother says that about their own child? I did not recognize my own baby. I have beat myself up for years for that, and it's truly a terrible feeling. But then she was laid in my arms, and it was just me and her, and even though the NICU was full of babies and families, things got very real. And yes, this was her. We were there for 3 weeks, which included a surgery, and that would be the first of 15 for my Berkeley girl. Berkeley was medically fragile the first 2 years, including a virus that nearly took her life and multiple surgeries, one lasting 12 hours. Looking back on all of it, it seems like a blur between the devastating death of my own mother, getting a master's degree, and going through a divorce. It all runs together. But at the end of the day, I regret nothing. The feelings, the sadness, none of it. I have a wonderful, beautiful 9-year-old girl, Berkeley, who is so compassionate, thoughtful, funny, quirky, and full of heart. At night, I say to her, "How much do I love you?" And she says, "The whole world." And I say, "How much is that?" And she says, "A lot." Yes, Berkeley, a lot.